I thought I was just meeting his mom, until she closed the door behind me. And that sound, that quiet click of the latch, changed everything. It was supposed to be a simple afternoon. Just me, Leah, a 24-year-old art teacher who still believed that kindness meant safety. Daniel had been nothing but kind, the type of man who waited outside my class with a coffee, who listened when I talked about colors and kids and chaos. We'd been seeing each other for 6 months, and when he finally said, "Come meet my mom, she's dying to see you," I felt a soft thrill. I thought it meant we were serious. When we pulled up to that house, a small, white cottage at the edge of Maplewood, I remember thinking how peaceful it looked. Roses climbed up the porch rails, the windows glowed in the afternoon light, and wind chimes whispered at the corner. Daniel smiled, squeezed my hand, and said, "She's old-fashioned. But she'll love you." I smiled back. I wish I'd seen the flicker in his eyes then, something like fear, something like guilt. Inside, the house smelled like lavender and lemon polish. A woman stood in the hallway, tall, elegant, her silver hair pinned neatly. "You must be Leah," she said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Come in, dear." "Daniel, why don't you get the tea ready?" Daniel nodded and disappeared toward the kitchen. His mother turned to me and closed the door gently. Click. The sound was soft. But it was final. For a moment, we just looked at each other. Then she said quietly, "You're very pretty." Daniel's always had a type. Her words were calm, but her gaze was sharp, cutting through me like glass. I tried to laugh. "I hope that's a good thing." She didn't laugh. Instead, she gestured toward the sitting room. "Let's have a little talk before he comes back, shall we?" I followed her, polite, nervous. The room was old-fashioned, floral curtains, faded photos, the smell of tea leaves and dust. On the wall was a painting, a woman with the same silver hair, smiling beside a man I assumed was her husband. But there was something odd. The woman's hand in the painting was resting on the shoulder of a younger girl, a girl who looked like me. The resemblance was uncanny. I stared, chills creeping up my neck. That's a beautiful painting," I said. She smiled faintly. "It's of my daughter. She passed away 8 years ago." I froze. I'm so sorry." She nodded, her eyes glassy but cold. "Her name was Leah too." I blinked, heart pounding. That's my name." "I know," she whispered. "Daniel told me." When Daniel came back with the tea, his mom's tone shifted like nothing happened. She laughed, asked about my students, told stories from Daniel's childhood. But every so often, I'd catch her staring, long, searching looks that felt like she was trying to replace something in her mind. When Daniel excused himself to take a phone call outside, the silence thickened again. She leaned forward. "Do you believe in fate, Leah?" I think so," I said carefully. She smiled thinly. "So do I. I believe some souls come back." I prayed for mine to return. Her hand trembled as she reached across the table and touched mine, cold, papery, desperate. "You remind me of her so much. The way you speak. The way you smile. Even the way you tilt your head when you're confused." I didn't know what to say. I wanted Daniel to come back in that very second. But when I glanced toward the window, I saw he was gone. His car wasn't even in the driveway. My stomach dropped. "Where's Daniel?" I whispered. Her lips curled slightly. "He'll be back. He always leaves when things get too real." And then, she stood up, walked to the door, and locked it. That was the moment I knew something was deeply wrong. I stood too, trying to stay calm. "Mrs. Grant, I think there's been a misunderstanding." "I should." "You'll stay," she said, voice firm. "At least until dinner." I backed away slightly. Please, I really should go. But she wasn't listening. Her eyes were wide, shimmering with emotion. You can't leave me again, Leah. I won't let you. Her voice broke on the word again. My breath caught. I'm not your daughter, I whispered. She shook her head, tears streaming now. You are. You came back. I prayed every night, and here you are. I ran to the door, pulling at the lock, but her hands, surprisingly strong, grabbed my arm. Don't, she cried. You'll break the spell. Let me go. I shouted. The sound startled her. Her hands loosened, trembling. She looked at me like she'd just woken from a dream. Oh God, she whispered. What am I doing? I grabbed the handle, turned it, and ran. Outside, Daniel's car roared back into the driveway. He jumped out, eyes panicked. Leah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I ran past him, tears stinging. You left me there. You knew. He reached for me, desperate. She's sick. She thinks you're her daughter. I didn't know it would go this far. I shook my head, sobbing. You used me. You let me walk into that. His voice broke. I thought if she met you, she'd see you weren't her. I just wanted her to stop crying at night. I stared at him, this man I thought I loved, and all I could feel was betrayal. I can't, I whispered. And I walked away. That night, I sat in my apartment, shaking. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face, grief, madness, hope, all tangled together. And beneath the fear, I felt something else, pity. A week passed before I got the call. Daniel's number. I almost didn't answer. But when I did, his voice was hollow. She's gone, he said. My mom. She passed in her sleep. For a long time, I couldn't speak. She left you something, he added quietly. A letter. When I opened the envelope, my hands trembled. Inside was a folded piece of stationery, written in soft, neat handwriting. My dearest Leah. I know now that I frightened you. I'm sorry. My mind is not what it used to be. I don't know what's real anymore, but that day, when I saw you, it felt like my daughter came home. For a few hours, my heart was whole again. Please don't hate Daniel. He only wanted to give his mother peace. I hope one day you'll forgive us both. And if you ever see a girl in your class who reminds you of someone you lost, be kind. Sometimes the soul just wants to come home. Eleanor Grant. I read it twice before the tears came. I never saw Daniel again, though sometimes, when I drive past Maplewood, I see that white cottage, empty now, the roses still growing wild on the porch rails. And sometimes I think of her, that lonely woman who just wanted to see her daughter again. And in some strange, quiet way, I think she did. Clapperboard, if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell us in the comments, do you believe in second chances, even after life ends?